part. Now I want to go to the other segment of this conversation, right? And which will be the part 2 of this conversation. Now, I joined. I think the first time I listened to DDK was I was in a group. They had posted a link. She was speaking. It was even about policy. She was speaking about that posted it. They invited her to one TV show, so she was talking about policy. Something interesting. I'm like, policy. It's not my thing. So I don't know what happened. I still went further to now go and look for her, and that was how I joined Immerse and all of that. So when I joined, that was COVID year. It was COVID year I joined Immerse. So I'm not sure I heard Oluwaseun Newton, but I can tell you that from 2023, 2024, up until now, I've been hearing your name, right? Now, my question now to you will be, what transition, right? What shifted in that period that, okay, where I wasn't hearing your name, right? And this is me talking about what are the things that you did that moved you from one point to this point. I wasn't hearing your name all of that period, but now I can tell you that I hear your name like most of the time. I hear your name in all of our meetings. So what happened? What shifted? You get my question?
I get your question. I need to go back to the question you already initially asked me. The question I just previously asked. Maybe the reason why you're not hearing my name was probably because I just joined the mess in 2021. That's the only, I just joined DDK's connection, everything, September or November, October 2021. So I'm trying to figure out how the best to answer. What did I do? I would share what I did. Is it what everybody would do? I don't know. And I'm hoping they can pick the lessons from there. So I'll go back to, I asked God that I needed a teacher. If you take it back to where I was in September 2021, and then I enter into this place and I'm hearing this woman, and I did the only thing I knew how to do, because I didn't know her from anywhere. She was not my pastor. I didn't, there are some women of God that I was already familiar with, that if God had said it, I would have probably been easily accepted. But that was not the case. I didn't know who she was. I didn't know she was a pastor like that. Like, I didn't know her. I didn't hear her in any form. But so I did the only thing that I've done consistently, like at least since I knew God and I worked with him intentionally, was so I honestly went back to God. And I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And if anybody wants to take that principle, that's the principle that I would want them to do first. I've done it every time, even though I didn't know what it's now that I listen to DDK, I understand that, okay, she gives languages too, but I haven't made any decision, like I said, any core decision without going back to say, what am I doing here?
God.
First church I went to in Ukraine, it wasn't really the church I would have wanted to go to, but I heard God say, stay here. And I'm like, okay, why do you want me to stay here? And eventually I saw the reason. So I've played that way in my own little way of this, my little corner of serving God and knowing God. So I honestly went back to him because I was like, okay, is this the teacher you're asking me to follow? Because that was, I asked a very innocent question. I didn't even know that he answered it that way. But here I am in this amazing community. I felt lost at a point because I'm like, what am I even doing here? And I didn't even join the, Sprout Woman. Maybe I will see my own mates, like people that are just starting like me. I went to FFF straight up, where people have businesses, people have do you understand? So I was like, okay, this is not a church, this is a coaching. I never knew about coaching before in my life. I used to think that coaching was only for people that are doing athletes. I never knew about life coach. All those things. I was in my own bubble in Ukraine. I was really I wasn't even looking at Nigerian Instagram to show you how out of context I was. The people I used to follow on Instagram were basketball and gymnastics, because that's what I used to like. So I followed basketball people. I knew everything about basketball. I didn't know anything that was happening in Nigeria. Like, that's just to show you There's nowhere else again the DK would have come to me apart from the way God made her come to me. I'm not kidding. So I went back and I'm like, okay, what am I doing here? And then he gave some very, very specific things that is, I'm seeing a bit of them now. And in the next few years, other things will play out. So when I things changed. And then I heard at the, I think end of December, before the war broke out, I heard God saying there was a shift. He was kind of handing me over to DDK. This was my own personal. She has never met me. She has only just seen me. I don't know if she has seen me. I don't know if she knew me. But when I saw that, I didn't take it lightly. So I just got to say, stay. And I'm not even going to, like, I'll be very vulnerable. At a point, I think when I joined, I wanted to make myself known and go like, no, don't force it. I will, whenever it is time, I will be on to you. And he said, don't try to force it, don't force it. Because I knew that at a point, I wanted to do it on my own. If God said I should do this is my teacher, okay, let me. And he was like, no. And he was like, you just stay and learn and follow. And to be honest, that was what I did. It wasn't really about DDK again in that sense. It was like, this is who God has asked to be here in this season of my life. And I just did what I typically would have done, what I've done my entire life. I stay where God puts me. I don't look for any other thing. The way you see me here with DDK, I'm a very intense person, like you've observed. I put in my efforts. I don't like to, I have a lot of heart and emotions. So I spend it wisely. I show up with my full self, with my everything. So I can't do it, if you get what I mean. Imagine me doing this for 3 people. I don't have shame again. So I think God knows who I am. And part-time, even though I have like mentors here that I can speak to, they know about the people that I say follow is just one person. And he knows that I would pour my all, I would serve. I served my pastor, I served his wife, I was with his children, I was the one taking care of the children at the back in the house. I went to their house do you get what I mean? That is Oluwaseun.
Yeah.
And if you ask any of my friends, when I was a leader in fellowship, you would know that Seun is here. You cannot doubt Seun's commitment. I think that's what he would say. When God say, this is the person I've put under you, follow. I did what I typically would have done. I just did. And I followed. I literally followed in every sense. In the coaching part, the DDK says, do this, I do. And to be honest, I didn't know that I could be this virtual, sociable person. I knew I was this in person, but I've never done anything virtual. DDK community is my first ever virtual anything. I like you to be in my corner, into my world. I like to talk with you face to face. If I have a question, I'll call you. I'll go to your house and ask you the question. So many things will happen. No, I'm serious. So a lot of things will happen. I'm like, why are you asking me a teacher that I cannot even call when I need help? I cannot even call her to say I need help. What kind of teacher do you bring my way? But it was like, follow. And I did, honestly. I actually just followed. When she says, this thing helped me, I will try it out. If she said anything, I looked at how she did her things. I just followed, honestly. I listened, followed, and I did. I actually did those 3 things. I listened, I observed, and I'm an observer. I pick things that you don't even say. I hear things. So I did all of those things. And God did the other part when it was time to be. And then, for example, I joined the mastermind and she was like, don't be a monitoring spirit. Show up. And I took that to heart because I didn't know how to show up in virtual session. And I took that as a challenge that I will show up in the mastermind. So I showed up in the mastermind. I commented, my video was on, I participated in things, I volunteered. I did things really, really out of my comfort zone. And then I became known in the mastermind. Because I became known in the mastermind, it transferred to KGA. I joined KGA. I carry the same follow. So I will not be following in one area and I'll be not be following it. Do you get my point? So I just carry the same intensity of who I am. And I feel like how it broke open, if I'm being honest, is ILDP. And that ILDP, me being present in ILDP wasn't even for DDK or for KGA. When ILDP came, the Holy Spirit said, this is the school of the Spirit. It's a school I'm sending you to. What do you do in school? You pay attention in school, you do your assignments. And he said, you must turn on your video every time in ILDP. I wasn't, so everything I was doing in ILDP was not for, God was the one that I was writing my own scripts, if you get what I mean. So if I want to see what broke out, the way I showed up, because my personality is quite interesting. So I carried who I was in person and I carried it into the virtual scene. And there's no way you will not someone that is always telling you. Sometimes I'm the only one that's seeing on my video sometimes. And she's seeing me, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just normal that, and I wasn't turning on my video for her to see me. I was turning on my video because of an instruction of follow.
Following an instruction.
Do you see where is leading to? So
Yeah.
God said stay, and I stayed, and Scott said follow, and to be honest, I'm still doing that, even though. And then when it was time for God to do the connection or make it maybe this thing, he opened the door for Visionary Compass. I just said, I saw a message from DDK saying, what do you do for work? Would you like to say that? I'm like, did somebody scam DDK? Like, I thought somebody had hacked our accounts to send, because I'm like, of all the places that why is it? Because I don't have a phone number. So what even happened was that, oh, let me tell you the second thing. What happened? I actually followed. When I was in the mastermind, this DDK said, you can write me an email. I'll read your emails. So I said, okay. So I wrote an email and I explained myself. I've been blessed. And I did that. And I saw that she responded to me. I said, okay. And then when I learned something, I shared it with her. And then I feel like I listened to her say what she's doing for her mentors. And I did the same thing, even though we did not have that connection. She said you should do it. I did it. I joined an assignment. She said, if you do this assignment and send it with me, I'll look at it. I will do it and I'll send it to her. Then I started updating her. Oh, I'm doing half-year review. She didn't ask me. Oh, it was me that started it. And then she responded. So even though we had not met, she knew what I was. She knew something about me. It was no longer, it was still far, but I was okay with it. I just needed you to know, okay, I'm here. You are saying this, I'm doing it. I can see the difference in my life. I'm reporting back to you. I'm telling you what I want to do next. And that was how it was. So even though I had that number, because after the war broke out, and then the MS people were very warm, like I just met them, and the MS people were the ones that like lifted me up during that Ukraine period. I was like, thank you. I just said an innocent, like, an email. Thank you for what you're doing. Like, look at the community you're creating. That people that have never met me before are extending their hands of love to me. And that was how the Ukraine one happened. And I just started giving her periodic updates. This is what is happening. I'm trying to apply for masters. I'm learning language. Half-year updates. End of the year reports. And I was just doing that. And she was responding. So in a way, she started knowing what I was doing. And what made Oluwaseun Newton to be, I don't know, maybe it's Dr. Newton that is fine. I don't, today, I don't know what it is, but I'm still very, I feel like ILDP broke it, if I'm being honest. In Immerse, I used to shop, but I think KGA, it was ILDP that broke that anonymity I had, because for the longest time, if you're in ILDP, you know that my face was one that was on continuously. And it was not, if you look back at my own instruction, I wasn't doing it for anybody. I was doing it because this is what God said I should do. And I approached it that way. And when the opportunity came to work with her, that I didn't even think about, and then he opened up that, oh, okay, I can work with this person. I'm working for this person. It went in the way God. So if I go back to when God said, don't force it, I will be the one to open the door. And I see it now, but I did not do all the things he had asked me to do. Will I even say I'm like, I know where I stand, if you get what I mean. I know my distance. I still do updates. I still don't know what's happening in my life. But God was the one that opened that door when it was time. And because I'm always there, if you want to call somebody, you see Oluwaseun Newton's face. If everybody say no, Oluwaseun Newton will not say no. So it was just a lot of pressure on the spot things that people put me on, that I'll be like, this will be like, Dr. Newton, I know that you are there, your face is there, you will call me out, and then I will do this. Do you understand? And that was how we went, honestly.
Thank you so much. Like, that is just a lot. And one thing that I heard very well was you saying that you followed God's instruction, you followed that instruction. So you're not just listening. And that's why some persons will be like, I don't have mentor, I don't have access. You're not even waiting for, okay, let's have this physical meeting. You're not waiting for it. And there's this sincerity of heart. If your heart was not sincere again, some things wouldn't have happened. And this just goes out to every visionary out there. See, when you're following someone, don't even follow because they're popular. Don't even follow because you want them to shall know that you're here. First work on that heart. Let that heart be so pure. Let it be sincere, right? And then follow intentionally. When they say do this, do it. And you're not even doing it because you want the person to notice you. You are just doing it. I know funny how at the end of the day, you are the one that will actually benefit from it. Look at the fact that you are giving reports and you are getting feedback. So it was giving you a sense of progress. So if she corrects something from what you're sending to her, you're able to work on it and then you become better. You're able to work on it and you become better. So don't just see that at the end of the day, the person that will benefit from it is still you. It's still you, right? So for any visionary out there, for any mentor that you want to connect with, or that you have been struggling, or you just feel like you don't even have any roof over your head, number one, first work on your heart. That heart posture is very, very important. When your heart posture is right, then you follow. She followed God as she followed well. So let it be a balanced situation. Follow God and follow every instruction that is given. I know I was sending a voice note to someone today. The person had reached out to me about something that she needed me to guide on. I said, one of the issue I have with you is the fact that, because at times again, and I think that's one of the things I love about DDK, she's going to tell you, it's going to be in a loving manner, right? When you're not doing something you're supposed to do, she's going to tell you so that you can work on it. I see that I don't have that close relationship, right? But I follow, I read and all of that, and that has blessed me. So I was telling her that one of the issues I have with you is the fact that you keep listening, but you're not taking action. And this is not going to bless your life. So because God was telling me something since yesterday for her to do. I need to bring her into something. I was reluctant about it because I've given her opportunity before, but she did not make use of it. So, but she's currently in a tight situation now. And then God was telling me, I was just taking my time. So this evening again, he came to me and I sent her a voice note. I said, this is what is coming to my mind, but I need you to work on this. Because if you don't work on this, it's going to just keep affecting you. And you will not bet what you are supposed to bet. And you just keep complaining that this is happening, that is happening. But you have a lot of things that are angry, right? So do just speak to every visionary out there. Don't just listen, right? Make sure you follow, because it is in following that you get the results.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sean. So we have about 2-3 questions.
Sorry, I wanted to add something.
Sorry?
To help somebody else. Can you hear me? I learned from DK.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Like, if you're looking for a close mentor with anyone, this is just for everybody. And you've not taken the things that they share with you, like they share to everybody as a whole, and it affects your life, and you don't do it, then you will misuse. Maybe God will never open that door because you will misuse the opportunity. So if not even only DDK, everyone, any other person I listen to and something speaks, I may never have to say I did this thing because you mentioned it too. But I will try to I'm not going to say I do it every time, but I will try to obey.
Yeah.
The listening to DDK from afar, like just observing. And I think like what I also did was I observed what she was saying, particularly in the coaching community. She was saying so many things that this is how you relate with your mentors. She was saying, so I just was, channeling my mental faculty though. Okay, before I know that I could call the other people I have. If I have any problem, I will call people, but I could not be able to do that. I didn't have that access to do that. And I said, okay, I'm not going to be angry or be saying, God, I cannot call the DK. I need to call the DK. And she was like, if you cannot call the DK and pick the DK, pray to God to give you somebody else that you can call. So while I'm still following, I'm doing, and I started seeing that God started sharing people that if I have problem, no, I will call. And then I used, and she was like, the access that we have, and that's maybe another thing, the distance or the evolution gap between my little kids a lot. So I need to be able to prove value, to be able to get her to get Jenna pay attention to me. But there's somebody else that is still upcoming that the evolution gap is not. So she will be teaching this in coaching. And me, I'm learning that, oh, okay, even though God said you should, the person should follow, don't be expecting that you call her. Don't be expecting that you would. So it allowed me to manage expectations. So, and that was what you're saying, that God did that hard work in me to be able to receive whatever she's giving. So I did not expect, if you get what I mean, I didn't call her urgently.
Yeah.
If I needed to call her urgently, do you understand? If anything arose, but nothing arose that I will be calling, Ma, I need to call you, Ma. It didn't happen. So I just was following and updating, because I just heard one day say, write me what you are doing. I love to read it. And I just picked that instruction and I said, oh, if you love to read it, may I will send it. Yeah. And I did that while God now opened people that I could talk to, that I could share with, because DDK said, don't fixate on me as the one person. She wasn't talking to me, but it was related to my life. And I picked it.
Yeah, that is the place of you following.
Yes.
You see, that's the place of you following. Like really, now she was saying something general, but because you've positioned your heart to do what? To follow. So you're not just like, this is not for me, but you're following. And in following, you got something. I know, just 2 things to share in line with that. So I called my spiritual father on Thursday or on Friday. I can't really recall now. So the call was on speaker. I and my husband, we have the same spiritual father. My husband met him first. I did. So when I called him, I wanted to give him feedback concerning something. And then my husband said that, ask him, is it the right time to talk? That did not even cross my mind. So on a norm, if I had called him, he would have first teased me. But he did not tease me. He just said, good evening, Tomlinson, and all of that. So my husband said, I should ask him, is it the right time to talk? And then I said, okay, Daddy, is it the right time to talk? And I said, okay, give me 30 minutes. That did not cross my mind. But if I was just that person that was just like, it's my spiritual father now, I can just talk to him anytime. I can just, my husband said, when we finished, when I ended, I had to tell him that, thank you. I actually didn't ever say that. So I think either it was in a meeting or he was talking to, okay, so before the call ended, he had started the conversation with someone. So apparently, he was talking to someone. But because it was my call, probably, that was why he picked it. Because I was calling at that time. So maybe he was wondering why I was calling at that time. That day I picked my call. So, but then if I was just like, I just want to just misuse the opportunity. I just like, let me just what I want to say now. So, but then he said, ask. And for me, that was so profound. I said, is it the right time to talk? And I said, look, if I started the conversation, but then my husband said, he's asking. And then I asked. And then it was like, okay, just give me 30 minutes. So you see, don't just be like, you want to just misuse the opportunity again, misuse it and just be like, is my spiritual father, is my this, I can just come in on them at any time. Another thing that I want to say to that, when you said that, listen to their material, do this, do that. When you are even trying to have a one-on-one relationship with someone that you have not heard their voice before, when you even come physical one-on-one, you're not able to relate. Because you have not listened to the general parts. You have not listened to some foundations. You get? You've not listened to some foundations.
Let me tell
Sorry?
you one thing that helped me to stop worrying about it. God is very intentional. So I think I was listening to a question. I was listening to one of DDK, and I had a question. So I sent an email. And then the email came the next day. I was listening to something that involved DDK. I think she was having a conversation. I'm not kidding. I found my answer. And this was in 2022. They had done that webinar in 2020 or 2019. It happened the first time. The second time, I had a question that I think I was going to ask her if I eventually got to sending the email whenever I wanted to. Then the next day, or maybe 2 days after, I was listening to something and I got my answer. And I knew with all of my heart that God was in this wherever He has brought me. But it's not time to be bothering her with question. And so I will have my question, I will write it down. And no kidding, either she would preach a message, we would listen to a resource that she has preached 5 years ago. I will find my answer. He changed the game. It reduced the mental stress I was thinking about that, because I genuinely, and I love to ask questions. This is me. I like I said, I will go to your house and ask you questions if I can go to your house. So God saw that sincerity, that I wasn't just asking for asking sake. I genuinely did not know who to reach out to. But in God's mercy, He's still the same person that He puts there as follow, that I found the answer. It was like a game changer. So I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
He changed the game in 2022 for me. I didn't stress again. I was just okay, listen, do, and I was doing. If this game, I tried this app. I'm not kidding. I'll download the app the next day. I'll now say, did it work? Why did it not work? I was that, is it free and vulnerable? I was really that. If you say I fasted, I was like, I would try it in maybe the next day or the next week. I was that, I don't even know what to call it. But I saw how it changed things, that when you do what they say you should do, that's when your life will change, to be honest. If you don't do it, no matter what, your life will not change.
Exactly. In fact, when you even have the opportunity to have a, let's say, one-on-one conversation with them, you'll be able to relate better. Not that you are coming, everywhere is even so scattered. You can't even speak their language because you've not heard from them in the first place. But you just want to jump in. You jump in. You definitely jump out. Okay. So I just hope every visionary out there, you will know how you can manage your relationship better, relationship with your mentors. You know how to manage it better. And don't just be seeking, I want to go for this, I want to go for that. Let it be that God is leading you and you follow appropriately. So, Sean, as we close out this, I have about 2-3 questions running through my mind, but I'm just going to put one together. So the last Oluwaseun that we brought on board, she's a fashion designer. She was molested as a child, but then her life just changed a lot and she's doing more better now. One of the things I know that she did that moved her fashion designer forward, I remember she said it that at some point she was just receiving maybe just one order or so, and then she was like, she can't keep up with this one order. She needed to move her business forward. For me, I can't just forget that. I feel like that's one of the things I remember from that conversation. And she said she had prayed to God that she wanted to move this thing forward. And then she went to volunteer for someone that was having a business. Either she volunteered or she learned a course about business development, something like that. And when she did that, she moved from 1 order per week to about 7 orders and all of that. And now she's even overwhelmed. That was somebody that was just not, she was not just like, okay, I want to move my order forward, right? But she wasn't doing anything. She waited for something that was moving her. Now, what are those things that you do that help your growth as a visionary? This is a fashion designer that went for a business plan and all of that. So, but in your own case as a visionary woman, that use your voice, because for me, if I'm to cap it into one thing, I'm going to say the power of your voice. That's what you use to transform a generation. So what are those things that you do, like when it comes to your growth system, that is helping the person you are becoming, that is helping your visionary journey? Or you're just there, you're just becoming just like that.
No.
You are just seeing shown transform just like that.
No. To be honest, I think I've said to be honest a lot of times. Now, in a different capacity, things have changed. But if I'm not going to lie about anything. For me, it was being in the MES community and being in the FFF. I spent. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, because what it did for, and if I want to, what made me even stay, and I think that was one of the things I held dear to. Maybe the first cycle I joined in 2021. Can you hear me? Because, okay, we are frozen. DDK said transformation is not a one-time thing. When she was talking to us, I don't know if it was a coaching call. She said, stay with us, give it 2 years, give it 3 years, give it 5 years.
Yeah.
Because she said it depends on where you are starting from. So what actually has powered my growth and my visionary journey is because I have stayed. And even when things are looking, so the shame that you can see now only happened because there was the inner work that God had to do. If I can summarize it now, when I shifted was when God was like, DDK used to say, Eldua, God is the one that is doing you. It became very evident in June, I think June or April of 2022, just a few months after the order. God was the one that is orchestrating this thing, because I felt like I was thrown into a wilderness and I was alone. But it was also a coaching call that I listened to, and she was like, she gave us like a few things, and she was like, I can't remember the title, but she gave like 12 examples of these negative emotions, and I found myself in all 12 of them. And I'm like, okay, things had to. And then I knew that it became God was in this season. God is the one that is orchestrating this silence, this season of abandonment, if I can call the word. When I knew that, I shifted in mindset. Even though I was still hurt, I was still angry at God, I still had a lot of grudge with God. Shifting in that mindset allowed me to access the resources of that season. So what do I mean? I was also abused as a child, and I started therapy. No, I started counseling first after my dad passed, because it was affecting many things. Then I lost my dad. Then the war broke out. If you carry all of those things together, you can tell the state of somebody's soul. So what God did in the first 1.5 years of me staying in VCAP or in Immerse, even though on the outside nothing was looking like it was happening, I felt like nobody knew me. I was just, even though they kind of knew me, it was the healing process of, so I healed from my childhood trauma, I healed from my dad's loss, and I was able to properly heal from Ukraine. Ukraine's healing came as a culmination. What am I saying? So Immerse system and structure really helped me, because when DDK said stay 2 to 3, just give yourself time, depending on how long you are in your whatever state of life you are, you need to give it time. It cannot happen in one day. When I heard that, it shifted things. So I know that in Immerse, every cycle you have to have like a goal you want to target. You have to. So imagine doing that 3 months in, 3 months in, 3 months in, 3 months in. What you're seeing now is a culmination of intentional, I'm going to work on this. I'm going to work on this thing. I'm going to work on my heart. I'm going to work on productivity. I'm going to work on being this thing. And then I was in a place where I was constantly hearing lights. Not either from Immerse or from KGA. So I was hearing, I was doing, I was hearing, I was doing, I was hearing, I was doing. In that way, mindset was changing. Subconscious, like I grew more confident. I understand what I'm doing more. So how am I on this visionary path is also now maintaining that every season of my life, I'm focusing on something. I'm currently pursuing my master's. Is part of my visionary growth. Is for a purpose. I'm working on my spirituality. I'm creating structure. Is part of it. I wrote a book. Is part of it. If you get what I mean. So Immerse was the one that gave me that structure and that plan. I'm accrediting that to Immerse and DDK and the structure that she has put in. So if it's to take a course, we take a course. If it's to say, and the KDK says that when she shared it in different areas, you can volunteer, you can take a course, you can do this, you can serve your way, you can do. So when you figure out the one that you can, maybe you have time for. But like I said, anything would not work if you don't apply it. That's the honest tool of that I've learned. And because I saw changes inside of me before I saw outside change,
Yeah.
he made me
Outside, yes.
he made me I'm not because for the first time, if you say my goals were to be productive. I did a lot of very life basic goal. But the more I saw those changing and I saw the person I was becoming, it gave me audacity. And sometimes it depends on where you are. God must do some level of cleansing first and building.
Yes.
So everybody is different. Some people are joining Immerse and FFF and they're already doing things. They just need a bit more structure. And you can see that they join in 1 month. They're already acing things. But some people are joining in a place where their life is looking like it's empty. They need a bit of feeling that is very invisible that nobody will see. That even yourself, it will take a while to see that, oh, and it was like, if so, how did I measure it? If I used to be afraid before, if I would have reacted before in a different way, after a course of while, I'm taking a different reaction. So I know that I could acknowledge that, oh, something has changed. Before I would have been angry. Now I'm saying thank you, Jesus. Where did that come from? So I observed that a lot, that I was growing. I wasn't changing on the outside, but I was growing tremendously on the inside.
On the inside.
He gave me confidence to now do. And then DDK will say, now start something right here. So because if you stay only on the life inside transformation and you don't put it on the outside, you still feel, after a while, you feel full, but there's no way to express it out. But my policy or what I've seen is that God would first fill you in. He will first do the inner work. Whatever you
Yes.
inner work has to be done, because that's what powers you to do the outside work. But if you do only the inner work, you'll be looking like, I know these things, but your life is not showing it. So that's eventually where everything is. I feel like the honest thing is see and do, hear and do.
Yeah.
That's small. If I can summarize it, that's my summary. Take action however it is. If you hear a word today and you say, pray for 4 hours, at least attempt it. Because if you don't attempt it, you will not know that you can pray. If you hear, write a proposal, write an email, go and look for a job, attempt it, try it out. Because it's when you try it, oh, it actually worked though. And when you start seeing smaller wins, small wins, I tried this thing, it worked. I tried this thing, it worked. You are growing yourself, you're growing your confidence, you're imagining. So yeah, if you can see that trajectory, God starts first on your inside, then it takes it out. But even the inner work, if you don't do, it will not work.
Thank you so much. And I'm going to ask, I don't say anything to that so that I don't take a lot of time. So, but I'm just going to ask my final question, and it's going to be two in one question. Now, in your visionary journey, right, what can you say, where are you going to put the role of relationship, the friends? I remember when you reached out to me concerning seller for your book, and then you mentioned, okay, the person doing this, person doing it. So where will you put the role of relationship in the person you are becoming? And what will be your final word to that visionary out there that is already on the journey, and to that visionary out there that is like, okay, I think I don't even know where to start, and they're just so confused, or they are scared about starting because they're like, what will people say? I think I had that too when I started out. I'm like, what will people say? How will people see me? what if they will not even listen to me? But then, I think for me, what broke or what changed my life entirely was 2020, COVID year. I can't forget COVID year at all. That's what changed it. So what will you say to that visionary out there that in that state that like they're scared? What will people say? And that visionary that is already thriving. Thank you.
On the matter of relationships, I can't even overemphasize it enough that we definitely need people on our journey. And it's very important to, it depends on where the visionary is. If you already have friends that are visionary like you and are going on your path, you have, how do I call relationship? You have people that are on the same path with you, like linear like you. It's like a cross. You have people that are here. You have people that you should be pouring into, and people that should be pouring into you. That's how I see it. You have people that you can relate with. You're on the same level. You're growing in your own path. You have people that, because eventually you need to pour it out in a way. You need to pour it out into people, and the people need to also pour into you. That's how I see the relationship arc, if I want to explain it. And why it's very important is because, especially on this visionary journey, and everybody's not hearing what you're hearing. So there are two things that you would do. Either you ensure that the people that you're already working with, they start hearing what you're hearing. Because if you don't do that service to them, there will be an evolution gap where you're changing and they're not changing.
But they're not changing.
And what did the case said that made me become very intentional about the friends I already had? She was like, you don't want to get to the top and it's lonely. So you sure that the friends that you have are listening to what you're listening to. Because if you're the only one listening and they're not listening, eventually there would be you will not be able to talk because
evolution gap.
What people are talking about before
the conversation won't flow.
Yes. So what did I do? Some of my very close friends, they are not really in my DDK, like they're not in DDK's cycle like I am. But I will send DDK's message to them. We will review it together. I will listen to a message. I will say, please listen to this, really blessed me. When we call, we will discuss about it. We would pray. So eventually, because DDK will say, do that first. Then if they are consistently not changing because they don't want to change, you are permitted to, because so that it's not be like, how will you be hearing something like this and not tell me? That kind of thing. So that's the first level. And you would have to trust that the Holy Spirit brings you into that relationship that is people that have the same kind of mindset, because you need people to hear you're crazy. You need people to hear your idea. You need people to talk with. If you are blessed that you are in a community where you're hearing things, and one of the things I've learned to do is to intentionally repurpose my relationships. So we are either doing accountability together, because we need to, beyond us saying we are visionary leaders, something needs to bring us continuously together. Apart from just checking on you, sometimes I'm doing a book review with somebody, I'm doing a prayer with somebody, I'm doing accountability with somebody else, because the more we are consistently discussing the things that we are hearing, there's a way we will continue to grow. That's on the linear relationship. On the one that you're pouring into, the more you're pouring into, you're hearing something, you're pouring, that person is growing. When you see somebody that you're teaching, you don't want to remain at a level, because you need to continue to evolve so that the person, do you get what I'm trying to say? That's the people pouring into. Then you need to pour, because do you understand? People are above you. You need to also look for people that you can learn from, they can pour into you. So that's how I would surprise the important, because you don't want to be alone and lonely on this journey. Nobody understands you, because we are not listening to, it's not everybody that is hearing DDK and visionary like the way we are hearing. Like, it's not everybody that is hearing maybe Apostle Iren and hearing the way they are hearing it. It's not everybody that is hearing Apostle Selman. So we are very few that are thinking, or God is beginning to now raise more people. But if you get what I mean, if you look around,
Yeah.
people are really focused on, I want to make money, I want to do. Nobody's thinking of vision in that sense, except to start, becoming global. So you don't want to be on the journey alone, because if you're on the journey alone, you will get tired.
Yeah.
There's a part where you will go alone in this life, is normal.
Yes.
You will still need to have
Oh
people around
God.
you to give you support. If not, you will faint on the road.
Mm,
You need
mm,
when you are
mm,
tired and you are crying. I've called my friend. I was tired. It wasn't looking like things were happening. I called, and when she picked, I started crying. She only needed to say hello. Hello, the Konimogbo, and I cried. I'm serious. I cried for like, I don't even know how many seconds, minutes, but there was a wait, and then we talked,
mm,
prayed. Imagine not having that.
mm.
But there are some days I've cried alone, because some days it's only you that will cry that prayer to God, because God will still comfort you. But do you get what I'm trying to say? God
Yeah.
sometimes, and it's because I don't have people that I can go and hug go. So I can only go and call them on the phone. So if you get what I mean, everyone, no matter, and you want people that you're growing with. Is now we are hearing. I was hearing Tara Ferrado saying that she was friends with TY Bello. Can you imagine? T.Y. Bello
Oh
and
wow.
Tara Fela were friends since we are 11 or 12 years of age, and they've grown together. Some people that know you like that, you are very free. Some people, God will bring some people in your life that, in short years, God can compare. But you need people that you grow together, because you need it in your life. They're the ones that can call you out and tell you that you're not behaving well. Because some people, when you grow, people are afraid to talk to you. But people that know me as shown, as just shown, nothing, there's no, anyway, I've not even got to any place in my life. So I'm still growing my own growth, if you get what I mean. But I have people that they will say,
Mm,
what you did is not good, or how you spoke is not good, or this thing you did is not good. And I will be sad, but I will take it because they're my friends. Imagine not having that, especially when we continue to grow in this missionary journey, when we continue to expand influence, where you're not sure, is this person coming to just take me for my services, because it will happen. So that's on the relationship, and I hope it opens that understanding for anyone. On
yeah.
the part of where do you start, I'm still learning, so I'm not even going to lie to you, because I'm not.
Mm,
But if I've learned anything, and if I've done anything, is just start. But in a way, it's also, I think I would like the person to, whoever is, find a community, to be honest. When you find a community that you can stay, wherever that community is, but it's not going to be a cult. Please don't go and enter cult to become somebody. But just trust God for a community, because it helps when you're not the only one doing it alone. Particularly in this
mm,
age that we are in, they may be virtual, but because you need to learn, and then you do learn and do, learn and do. So just start whatever it is that is doing. Just start it. Or is in the starting you will know what you're supposed to do. Is in starting, if you don't start, you don't know that you're not supposed to do it, or you do it this way. So that's the honest truth. But start, then you learn. Even if you started first before you learned, don't stop at starting. Go and get the knowledge for it. Go and get what would
mm,
help you be better. But it's the more you do. If you don't start, you never know what you can do. You don't know where you make mistakes.
mm,
But you need to be open to learning. You need to be able to do. And please, in everything, is at the end of the day is God. You have to find God though, because if not, his journey, we need God. Not God for everything. We just need God, to be honest. We need him to be
mm,
able to guide us, because sometimes we need that spirit of discernment. We need God saying, no, it's looking very good. Because even in relationships, this person is ticking off all the boxes, but something is not right. You observe it. Why is it not right? And you monitor it. And that's honestly just God saving us from the things that we don't even know that He's saving us from. So I hope I've
mm.
answered this in the way I can answer, because
Yeah, you have
I can see.
really. And I just want to say thank you. You know, if we should continue, right?
We'll talk.
Trust me, we can go on this conversation for like 3-4 hours. I will still be here. So, but then I just want to say thank you, really. Thank you for being vulnerable. I said it that I was praying that I don't just want it to just be, okay, I'm hosting this podcast and I'm just hosting and nothing is coming to me. For me, right, when you're saying this last word, it was like what needed to be imprinted in my heart was imprinted in my heart. And it was not even in what you're saying now, it was what you said before. So I was just like, okay, so that is it for me, right? So thank you so much for being vulnerable. And we hope, we're truly hoping, right, that we'll have you back on board someday, sometime, to come and share your visionary journey again with us. So thank you so much, Dr. Oluwaseun Newton. Thank you for making our time to be here today. Thank you so much. And to every visionary out there, right? I don't want you to just listen or just watch this video. No, I don't want you to do that, because it is in your following and doing that you get the result. If you listen very well, there was something that at every point she was following. So I want you to do the same. Listen, watch, and take the necessary step. Follow. Just go ahead and follow. And she says something by closing at that. Just start. And really, you might think it's just as simple as that, but that is the truth. Just start. I used to say it up to today. So the church I attend, we have a Sunday school, and I'm in Sunday school department. I attend the Redeemed Christian Church of God. The first time I had the opportunity to teach Sunday school, I was still in school. I think I was in 200 level or so. I thought the Sunday school was supposed to be for 1 hour. I taught it for less than 30 minutes. The first time I had the privilege to take Sunday school, I taught it for less than 30 minutes. And someone else has to come on board to just come and finish up so that they can see how they can use the remaining time and not just be like they finished on school. But then from that point, this same me that taught Sunday school 1 hour for less than 30 minutes can take Sunday school now. Like, I can speak 2 hours, I will still speak for you. But if I had not started then, I will not be able to get 2 hours, 3 hours today. So what I would say, just start. Just start. If you don't understand, just start. Because it is in your starting that it becomes expand. It's just like, they say that a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. Really, it's actually the truth. It begins with a step. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Oluwaseun David, and this month of June, we are looking at the visionary journey. And we have Dr. Oluwaseun Newton on board. And Oluwaseun Speak podcast comes up twice a month, second and fourth Sunday of every month. By 4 p.m., you have it out there. Don't just listen alone, share with others, like, comment, and give your feedback. We really, really love to hear from you. And remember, we don't want you to just listen. This is so personal to me. But we need you to take action, because it is when you're taking action that you bet the result that you need. So thank you so much. I will see you guys in the month of July. You want to say something, Dr. Sean?
No, thank you for having me. And I was just looking at something that I have here. Like, I put a sticker note, and I think you just needed summary. I'm looking at the sticker note. I was reading my Bible verse. I don't know what I was reading now, but it was very strong for me. And I put it as CLFB. It's come, listen, follow, and become.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the order. You come, listen.
Sorry, please say that again.
CLFB. Come, listen, follow, become. I even need to go back and find what part of the scripture I was listening to. But it was definitely, I had to put it on my sticker notes. And I feel like that's the visionary journey. You come, you listen, you follow, and you become. In your listening, you do. You're following, you do. And I think that's what I would just give to everyone, that the visionary journey is a lifetime journey. And it's a marathon, not a sprint. And there will be highs, and there will definitely be the lows. But God is in the highs, God is in the lows. Sometimes we need the lows to be able to come again into a new high, and the lessons of the high to keep us in the low. So I think at the end of the day, it's just to understand that we are on the path with God, and God is for us, and He won't let anything evil happen to us. But sometimes we need to go through some, intense seasons to bring out the refining path with us. So it's not going to be like the social media and everybody's saying that, before people would get known, you should know that there has been a journey. We are listening to Gates Baba now with all of his things, and if you go back to all the things he has been playing, like, and that's the story for everyone. There was a journey they started.
Yeah.
We are also on our journey, like we are on our path. If you look at it, we are on our own path.
Mm,
We have our own stories. We are not yet there. And to be honest, where is there? There is when you get to heaven. That's the end of the day.
mm, mm,
The day is
mm,
when you get to heaven. So
mm,
I just really hope that
mm,
everyone listens and find people that would cheer you on, because at the end of the day, they are the ones that you would keep you on the path. And I'm praying for everyone. TDK used to pray a prayer or a declaration that your journey will never be lonely. And I say it a lot
amen.
of time as a declaration that my journey will not be lonely. Everybody I need in my
Yeah.
life. And I think
Mm,
I'm praying that for everyone, everybody that they need on this visionary journey, the advisors, the friends, the advocates, the volunteers, the counselors, the coaches, everyone that you need on your visionary journey, that the Lord would open it to you, and God will give
amen.
you wisdom to steward them, because it's one thing for somebody to come and it's another thing for you to steward the relationship. So
Mm,
I'm praying that for everyone. So thank you for having me again.
mm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving us a beautiful closing. Your journey will not be lonely. Yeah, your journey will not be lonely. Amen. Amen. Thank you so much, Dr. Oluwaseun Newton. And
Thank
thank you, everyone. And do enjoy, either as in the morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time of the day you are listening to this. Do enjoy yourself and take action. And remember, your journey will not be lonely. And remember, CLFB. Please put that to heart. And thank you so much. Bye for now. I'm Oluwaseun David. Okay, Oluwaseun Mayowa-Emmanuel. Thank you. Bye.